With the recent release of Forza Horizon 5, I got myself a need. A need for some badass video game hoopties. So, what did I do? I made a list of my top 5 video game cars. Sure, you can't exactly drive them around the sun-kissed Mexican countryside like Horizon 5, but that doesn't detract from them being some sweet-ass rides. I'm your buddy Heffy G, and this is my Screwattack inspired list of top 5 gaming cars. Number 5. I won't lie, Arkham Knight is probably the weakest in the trilogy because of it, but that doesn't make the Batmobile any less of a badass whip. Starring front and center alongside Batman in the 2015 game, the Batmobile is just thick in all the right places. Because of all the armor plating. Bruce Wayne's got some serious cash flow too, so not only is the Batmobile the most expensive vehicle on this list, but it's also the only hybrid. Get it? Because it's a tank, too. Number 4. I know Tim Schafer's a crazy person and all that, but lunacy aside, there's not a lot of games out there as underappreciated as 2009's Brutal Legend. The quality of Jack Black's performance as Eddie Riggs, alongside Double Fine's amazing writing and world building, make for a game about music that feels like as much of a tribute to classic metal as it does a spiritual experience at times. That vibe gets filtered down to a refined edge too with the reveal of the Deuce, Eddie's ride. In a world where mountains can be moved by the power of metal, it also makes sense that you can build a car through parts found growing in your own backyard. It also makes sense the car kicks out the jams with the power of 1,000 suns. Seriously, do yourself a favor and go listen to Brutal Legend soundtrack. It'll change your life. Number 3. Half-Life 2 is an incredible experience. And if you haven't played it yet, really, you should start taking better care of yourself. You're really letting yourself down. The entire game is played from the perspective of Gordon Freeman, and you cover a lot of ground throughout the experience. Thankfully, though, you don't have to hoof it the whole way, because partway through the game you get loaned a buggy. I know it doesn't look like the most appealing ride, but after slumming around City 17 and the surrounding countryside, having a car feels good. Plus, it has an ammo box on the back with unlimited SMG ammo, and that's just really nice. Number 2. Full disclosure, number 2 was originally Trevor's Bodie from Grand Theft Auto 5, based on the real-life Kaiser Jeep M715. Unfortunately though, since Rockstar is devoting themselves to killing any goodwill the public might have towards them, not only did they do us dirty with that half-assed remaster, but they also flubbed their servers for the Rockstar Games Launcher. I can't play a 10-year-old game because of how bad they messed up their re-release of a 20-year-old game. The universe has a sense of humor, is what I'm trying to say here, and so do I, because I'm putting V's Quattro from Cyberpunk 2077 in the number 2 slot. Cyberpunk wasn't the best game when it released, but it had a handful of redeeming qualities, and V's sweet-ass ride was one of them. If only it was as fun to drive through Night City as it is to drive through the flowing hills of Forza Horizon 4's Great Britain. Just wish they had more lore in the Horizon games too, because I'd really love to hear how these social media influencers got their hands on a hydrogen-powered armored sports car from a different reality. I don't know, it just messes with my immersion in this super realistic driving game. Before I reveal the top spot, why don't we go ahead and do a quick recap to figure out how we got here. Number 5, the Batmobile from Batman Arkham Knight. Number 4, the Deuce, also known as a Druid Plow, from Brutal Legend. Number 3, the Buggy from Half-Life 2. Honorable mention, the Charger from Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Number 2, V's Quattro Turbo from Cyberpunk 2077. And finally, number 1. A lot of you kids out there won't get this, but there is a lot riding on Master Chief's Warthog back in the day. Before Halo released and took over the world way back in 2001, people had no idea what to expect from this property. Sure, Bungie's previous work with Marathon was great, but this was a new venture into full 3D gaming. They weren't proven yet, and like we saw with Rare, going between generations can sometimes take the wind out of a developer's sails. We all know now, though, that when Bungie revealed the first Microsoft-backed Halo gameplay during E3 2000, people were stoked. And once the Warthog started driving around and people got a look at those physics, ooh buddy, did the janitors hate coming into work post-conference, because I am sure that there is shit and all over that motherfucker. The Warthog's coolness transcends everyone's personal coolness bias, because the Warthog is objectively cool as fuck. So that's why I put it at the top of the list, because that's where it deserved to be. I'm your buddy Heffy G, and you know me. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, everybody.